not sure if it's live yet. It just shows it
Usually
spinning.
takes a minute to connect.
Yeah. I'm watching it just spin here, so I'm assuming it's not live just yet. We'll
If
see.
not, you're watching this and it's really boring.
Yeah, let's see here. All right, it says it's published, so let me see here if it's showing up. Okay, there we go. So we've even got a couple of people watching. Okay, cool. Hey guys, what's up? My name's Eric and I'm the Techie Agent. I'm here with my good friend Tyler, and we work together. You could even say Tyler is my boss. And
Colleagues.
yeah, colleagues. So anyways, what we wanted to do was to do a recap of the Apple event that we just watched live. In particular, looking at the iPhone 12, and then even more specific, what kind of interests us is the iPhone 12 Pro and the Pro Max, because of what we do, which is marketimpactmedia.com. You can check out the website. And so what I do is do professional videography and photography and other media services for real estate purposes. And interestingly enough, what we have found is that the iPhone 11, which I have right here, this is my iPhone 11, has been actually, what's that? 11 Pro, yes, thanks for that clarity, has actually been a pretty amazing tool for doing video applications. I still tend to use my DSLR cameras for photography, but we've actually found a surprising number of applications that this works for video. So. And I think you've actually kind of historically have been pushing me in that direction, and I've been resistant to do that.
Yeah, it's always easy to look at the new toy that comes out, right? When the Insta360R, I think, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Insta.
When that came out,
1R,
you jumped on it, and I wanted to jump on it because I think we're looking for that all-in-one solution.
Yeah.
I want a DSLR that's compact enough, or a mirrorless camera that's compact enough that does really nice high-end bracketed photos, but also does really nice video.
Yep.
But we end up carrying around so much gear.
Yeah.
And I said, I just kept testing and testing. You can see I've got my Osmo 4 bracket on the back here that's magnetic, which we'll get into here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But the videos that I was putting out with this, it was just so handy to use and mount and use. You didn't even need the gimbal for a lot of the videos that I was taking. And I said, it doesn't make sense for me to spend another $500 or $1,000 on this new technology that I don't think is as good in a lot of instances, or marginally better than this.
Right. And that's, yeah, we've been chasing that because it's like, yeah, it's like how many gimbals between the two of us have we bought? You know, how many drones have we bought? How many cameras have we bought? It's like that Insta360 1R. I think I spent like $700 on that camera because I got the Leica 1-inch sensor, and it's a good camera, but it honestly just kind of sits on my shelf right now.
Yeah, I mean, once you saw the quality that you could put out with an iPhone, with the HDR video that they already have, and I know they talked about it's new this year, but it's not.
It's not.
But the HDR video that it takes is excellent. The stabilization is excellent, and the editing process. I mean, hey, I've got it here. AirDrop it to whatever device I've got to edit the video, and there it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. The AirDrop. Yeah, all those features in one compact device.
That's how they suck you in.
That's
the
how
ecosystem.
That's how they get you. So what I want to kind of talk about, I kind of made some notes as I was going through the live event. Some notes that I kind of wanted to just kind of talk about. The first one is, you know, they talked about how they have this new ceramic kind of coating on the glass, and that it's the toughest glass that they ever have made, and in fact, it's got 4 times better drop protection compared to previous generation iPhones. So it'll be really interesting to see drop tests come out. You know, there's those channels, YouTube channels that I'm sure you guys have seen where they do drop tests, and if in fact it is 4 times stronger glass and 4 times better drop protection, we could actually be entering into kind of a new era of smartphones where you no longer need the case, right? Your phone, your glass, and the phone itself is just that strong where you no longer need a case.
And Eric said if he gets 1,000 shares in the next 24 hours, he'll actually drop test his own phone.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that. I'm not willing to risk my, $1,099 to drop test. So I will, like you guys, be watching other people do the drop test for sure.
But I think you're right. I think I hate having a case on my phone. And as you can see, the only reason I have this bracket, which leads to, I know, one of your other notes, the only reason I have this on there is my magnetic mount in my car.
Yeah.
That is the only reason I have this on there. And I'm really excited that they introduced the new
Magsafe. Yeah, which we'll get to.
Integrated. So
yeah, so it'll be magnets integrated. But yeah, I mean, for me, you know, as someone who does use my phone, for example, when I'm flying my drone and I've got that flip out, you know, controller, and I have to put my phone in as the screen, even this case, which isn't that bulky, kind of can pop out of that little holder. And it would just be nice to have a phone that I can have without a case, snap into different accessories that I use the phone with,
and not worry about a $700 screen or whatever it's going to be
right
this year.
Exactly, right. So I'm interested in that 4 times better drop detection or drop protection that they're announcing on the new iPhone. So that's one of the things that they announced. In case you didn't see the event, they're announcing that the new screen is going to have 4 times better drop protection. If that is true, again, we're going to be entering into an era where cases are going to be redundant. You'll no longer need a case in order to protect your phone from, you know, shattering.
I will probably get. Well, we're not to Magsafe. I keep wanting to jump to it.
Well, we'll get to it.
I'm really excited
soon.
for it.
Yeah. So we'll gloss over a couple of features here that are kind of no-brainers that you guys have probably already heard about. They're going to have 5G. So that's really kind of future-proofing at this point because there aren't a lot of carriers that have coverage all across the United States or the world that have 5G capability. So what they're going to be adding is this new 5G capability that's obviously significantly faster than LTE, and it's future-proofing now their phones so that when 5G does become the standard across the United States and the world, that your phone will be able to connect to those networks and have super fast, you know, download and upload speeds.
Because the video files are getting huge.
Because video files are 4K,
yeah, 4K, 60 frames a second.
Right.
The video files are huge to transmit. So the fact that you'll be able to do that wirelessly, huge benefit.
Yeah, so there's that. Obviously, faster processor. Again, a no-brainer. That's something that they do every year is upgrade the processing power. So we're getting smaller chips that are more efficient, that are much faster. All of that. Integrated GPUs now, so that you're getting amazing graphics processing built in on these chips. All of that kind of stuff. Let's just go ahead and hit the MagSafe stuff. So, because we'll scratch Tyler's itch here. So what they're doing is they're doing a new technology in the iPhone called Magsafe. And so, as you're well aware, iPhones, or at least the past couple of generations, have had the built-in wireless charging. But if you've done any sort of wireless charging, you know that when you set it down on a wireless charger, you know, if it's not centered completely right, you're going to get bad charging. It's not going to charge very fast, or it's not going to charge at all. So what they've done is Apple has designed a magnet into the actual body of the phone so that when you set it down on their proprietary Apple chargers and accessories, it lines up perfectly, allowing for faster charge times or data transfer, things like that. But then in addition to that, they're tapping into the use of that built-in magnet for accessories like wallet holders and cases and dashboard mounts for your car, so that you no longer have to have an accessory like what Tyler's got on his phone, which is, you know, that magnet that allows him to attach his phone to the DJI
Osmo 4. Or my dash mount. You know, it's really just a multi-tool. I wonder how strong that magnet's going to be in the actual phone as opposed to on the accessory.
Well, they did show the accessory that was the dash mount, so it's going to have to be pretty strong.
I don't know if you can see this because it's behind the microphone, but I mean, that's a magnetic, and I'll move the mic here for you.
Yeah.
But that's a magnetic mount right onto the chair.
Yeah, that's not good.
I don't think it's going to be that strong.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Anyways, so here, let's go back. Okay, now I was overriding the automatic features here for a second. So the MagSafe technology interests me a lot because I'm just curious to see how they use this kind of fusion of a magnet to help align accessories along with then data transfer stuff. So it'll be really interesting to see how they tap into that technology beyond just cases and dash mounts and chargers. I would not be surprised if they come up with some creative accessories.
Well, we talked about DJI because they are, you know, a partner of Apple's. They sell DJI products in Apple stores.
Right.
So my question was, knowing that this is almost the exact same size of what that mount looked like. Will it be compatible without this accessory?
I would think that they would do
It's
something
pretty
like that.
close.
Yeah, they would have to.
Well, and if it's strong enough for a dash mount, you're going to see somebody, if it's not DJI, it's going to be somebody else, come out with a gimbal that will attach magnetically.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to hit a couple of negatives just real quick. Still has the notch. So the new phone is going to still have the notch at the top. So that's kind of a bummer. Another bummer is, and we'll talk about this in a little bit here, or talk about this, I guess, coming up now, is Tyler and I both kind of prefer, we both have iPhone Pros, the 11s, but they are the smaller iPhone Pros. They're not the Pro Max. This year, Apple is, in my opinion, a little bit, they are hurting the Pro brand by releasing a better camera in the Pro Max versus just the regular Pro phone. And so their Pro phone is going to be, $999, $1,000. And it's going to have a good camera, make no mistake, it's going to have all the other updates. But if you want the true upgrades in terms of camera performance, you're going to have to go with the Pro Max for $100 more, which I don't care about the price as much as I care about the form factor. Exactly. So I wish that they would have put the larger camera sensor, all those camera upgrades in the smaller Pro, and I feel like they're hurting their branding of the Pro a little bit when the Pro Max is a better camera.
Well, I agree and disagree.
Okay.
I think, I like the form factor of the smaller phone.
Yeah.
Because I had the Max, or whatever it was called, the Plus in the past.
It was too bulky?
It was too bulky. It was just too big of a phone. This one's going to be thinner, which is nice. But then are you going to have the bending issue that you had in the past?
Right.
I don't know.
Bend gate?
Yeah, right. And I just have become very accustomed to this size. It fits nicely in the hand. I don't have to, use two hands to reach the corners of the screen.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that's going to affect just daily use. Is it going to be, hey, I'm just going to get used to this again? Because we've upgraded to bigger iPads. Even though it's meant to be a handheld device, it's now become a computer.
Yep.
So
yeah, here we are.
But I think it gave people a reason to upgrade to the Pro Max as opposed to just screen size. Maybe they're going, hey, that extra $100 times how many millions of orders is, think about that.
Yeah.
$100 times a million orders. If they get a million more Pro Max orders, that's $100 million.
True.
And that's what they're all about, is profitability.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm sure they've run some numbers to be like, hey, if we can get people to spend $100 more just because of the camera, we make $100 million. Yeah. So
I'm not too upset about it. It's annoying.
Yeah, for me, the reason why it's annoying is I feel like they're undercutting their own Pro branding of the phone. When it's like with the Pro, when it's the Pro line, you should get everything.
Yeah, there's no difference between the 13-inch MacBook Pro and the 15.
Right, you should get everything.
Yeah.
You should with the Pro line, and I feel like they've hurt the Pro brand a little bit by saying, oh, if you get the Pro Max, you get something better.
Did they set that up and rebrand it as the Max as opposed to the Plus?
Right.
For that exact
Moving
reason.
forward, yeah, for sure. That's true.
Disappointing on my end, USB-C.
I agree.
We moved to it with our MacBooks. We've moved to it with our iPads.
Well, and it's like now we have all these microphones and other accessories that use USB-C, and it would have been really cool to be able to plug these directly into your phone without any adapter.
Yeah, I don't want adapters. I don't want dongles. I just want everything to work seamlessly, right?
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. Yeah, and you've got even Android users out there now that almost all of the new Android phones have moved over to USB-C.
Just standardize it.
Computers are all moved over to USB-C. iPads are already moved over to USB-C, and now iPhone is going to be the last to do that.
One of the other negatives that I don't think was in your critique or in your notes was they didn't discuss battery life at all.
True.
They've made the phone thinner. Mm-hmm. They've added 5G, which is, I guess, a big chipset inside, and has taken up a lot of room. And one of the things that I've heard is that they've had to reduce the size of the battery. Now, I understand their processors are faster and have become more efficient, but how's it going to affect battery life? Because especially with a bigger phone, I think the Max on the last iteration actually had better battery life, so I'm not going to complain about that because I'm a power user. I think you are too, so I think having the extra battery life with the Max also a benefit.
True.
So
that's a good point. So it's like you've seen enough Apple events to know sometimes it's not what they say, it's what they don't say.
Right.
So it's like if they're not talking about battery life this round, it's likely that we're not really going to see any improvements there. So that makes sense. So let's talk about just real quick, because I have to run. Technically, I got another appointment here in about 20 minutes.
I've seen you drive. You're fine.
I don't have my sports car anymore. So the new camera, and not just the new camera on the iPhone 12, but the new camera on the iPhone 12 Pro Max is going to have a much larger sensor, 47% larger sensor. It's going to have...
What does that mean for the average person?
So a larger sensor can let in more light, and that's everything. When you let in more light, you get less noise.
Better contrast.
Better contrast. And in addition to that, what they also are doing is, traditionally, these iPhone cameras have had optically stabilized lenses, meaning there's kind of like little springs, like the lenses kind of float, and they're optically stabilized with these little springs on the lens.
It's doing the actual lens, but
yes.
Now it's on the sensor.
On the Pro Max, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, they're actually doing they're using the same kind of technology that's used on my expensive DSLR cameras, where they don't just stabilize the lens. I do have some lenses that are optically stabilized, but they stabilize the sensor.
Right.
So the sensor itself has the ability to kind of move around to stabilize. So what that's essentially going to do, for those of you that don't understand what that means, is this camera is already good enough, really, without a gimbal. Like, you can already get really steady video with just
if you know how
to hold them, nice and light.
Like this.
Yeah, you're not going to need a gimbal any longer.
They said 5 times what it was last year.
Yeah. Oh, it says here that we got to stop and restart the stream at 480p or slow internet is what's telling me.
Oh no.
But I think we're still live.
Yeah, just keep it going.
I think we're still
It'll at
live.
least be recording. You can re-upload it later.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So there's that. We have a much better sensor, much better. It's optically stabilized now. Then we've got computational photography and all these features. We could talk about that for a long time. And
Apple is the absolute best, and this is where we talked about Sony and Canon and all these other companies that make really high-end cameras, do a great job at making cameras, but they don't do anything in terms of really computational photography like Apple does.
Correct.
Apple has taken a decent lens and processor and sensor,
and can get way more out of it.
and gets so much out of it because of their AI and their computational photography.
Yeah.
Added, in addition to that, the LiDAR that they added to the
Yes.
Pro Max, was it on the Pro?
Yes.
It was on both.
Yeah, it's on both.
Add the LiDAR to that, which
So you get
allows
depth
mapping. I think we didn't see it, and I was, again, disappointed. I wanted bokeh video,
I agree.
but I think there's going to be a third party. There's already third parties that are doing it without depth, without LiDAR, without depth mapping.
Yeah, there's going to be someone that uses that LiDAR sensor to create like the shallow depth of field effect on an iPhone for video, not just photography.
Right.
And that's going to be amazing.
And I think the only other thing, and they previewed it last year, and I don't think it's ever really launched, was the ability to record all 3 lenses at once.
Yeah.
So we're using a Mevo camera right now,
Right.
which we really like. But it'd be nice that if I just put this on a tripod and could do the exact same thing and control it with an iPad.
For sure. And so another thing before I run here, I got to run out the door. We're getting true HDR video now. So again, this iPhone here can already really kind of do HDR video.
I think you're in Dolby.
Yes. So now it's going to be Dolby Vision Hdr, and it's 10-bit. Okay, so I have cameras that are pro-level video cameras that are 8-bit that do a really good job with that my Sony has what they call an HLG format, which is similar to like a RAW or a high dynamic range video. It's a pain in the ass to work with. And so now with the iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max, we're going to have this HDR 10-bit Dolby Vision video, which is ridiculous. It's so good.
And HDR RAW photos.
And HDR RAW photos with the proprietary RAW image from Apple that they're calling Apple ProRes, which allows you to be able to tap into their computational photography plus have a raw image that you can manipulate like a traditional raw image. So you're getting,
It's what we dream of. We want to do everything on one device or airdrop to an iPad and do everything right there. And that's what they're making really, really easy.
Yeah. So essentially what we're seeing this year is there's a modest upgrade with the iPhone 12 Pro and a massive camera upgrade with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. You're getting a massive jump forward. So if you're someone who's kind of on the fence, let's say you're like me and you've already got the iPhone 11, the iPhone 12 is going to be, the iPhone 12 Pro would be a modest upgrade, right? But the iPhone 12 Pro Max, substantial camera upgrade.
I mean,
substantial.
Yeah, I never thought I would go back to that larger form factor, but I'm getting the Pro Max this year.
Yeah, well, same thing. For me, it's like the iPhone 12 Pro. It's like for $100 more, I'm going to get better battery life. I'm going to get a substantially better camera sensor and other pro features. So yeah, I'm going to be going with the 12 Pro Max. Apple's going to get me for $10.99 and change.
I'm going to be whatever the upgraded 256 is.
Are you going to go with the larger form?
Yeah.
The larger? See, I'm a cheapskate because I hate paying for storage. I hate the Apple tax when it comes to storage. So
I know.
This is 64 gigs, and at least they upgraded to 128 gigs this year. But
and you've had you
and
ran out of storage.
And I run out of storage all the time. Yeah, I'm always like trying to find another 10 gigabytes so I can shoot more video on this. So yeah. Well,
Awesome.
Yeah, that's all I got, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. It seems like we got the ball rolling now. We've got about 50 people following live, and so I hate to cut you guys off, but I'm sure we'll do some more live streams like this. Let us know in the comments below if you liked this, enjoyed it. And hey, guys, thanks for watching. My name's Eric.
I'm Tyler.
Tyler, and we're the Techie Agents, and we'll catch you guys next time.